One night from out the swarming city gates slept holy Bajazid to meditate, alone amid breathing fields that lay in solitary silence leagues away beneath the moon and stars as bright as day, and the saint wondering such a temple were, and so lit up and scarce one worshipper, a voice from heaven amid the stillness said, the royal road is not for all to tread, nor is the royal palace for the rout, who even if they reach it are shut out. The blaze that from my harem window breaks, with fright the rabble of the roadside takes, and even of those that at my portal din, thousands may knock for one that enters in. Thus spoke the Tajidar, and the winged crowd that underneath his word in silence bowed, clapped acclamation, and their hearts and eyes were kindled by the firebrand, and the wise, they felt their degradation, they believed the word that told them how to be retrieved, and in that glorious consummation one forgot the cost at which it must be done. They only longed to follow, they would go, whither he led, through flood, or fire, or snow. So cried the multitude, but some that were content with what they were, or grudging cost of time or travel, that might all be lost. These, one by one, came forward and preferred unwise objection, which the wiser word, shot with direct reproof or subtly round, with argument and allegory wound. The pheasant first would know by what pretense the Tajidar to that pre-eminence was raised a bird before his lofty crest, and such the pheasant had, like all the rest, who answered, by no virtue of my own Suleiman chose me, but by his alone, not by the gold and silver of my size made mine, but the free largesse of his eyes. Behold, the grace of Allah comes and goes, as to itself is good, and no one knows which way it turns in that mysterious court. Not he most finds who farthest travels for't. For one may crawl upon his knees lifelong, and yet may never reach, or all will go wrong. Another just arriving at the place he toiled for, and the door shut in his face. Whereas another scarcely gone astride, and suddenly behold he is inside. But though the runner win not, he that stands, no thorn will turn to roses in his hands. Each one must do his best, and all endure, and all endeavor, hoping but not sure. Heaven its own umpire is, its bidding do, and thou perchance shall be Suleiman's too. One day Shah Mahmud, riding with the wind, a hunting left his retinue behind, and coming to a river, whose swift course doubled back game and dog, and man and horse, beheld upon the shore a little lad, a fishing very poor, and tattered clad he was, weeping as his heart would break. So the great Sultan, for humor's sake, pulled in his horse for a moment and drew nigh. After weeping, making his salam XY, he wept. Weeping, the Sultan said, so sore as he had never seen one weep before. The boy looked up and said, "O Amir," he said, "7 of us are at home, and father dead, and mother left with scarce a bit of bread. Now since sunrise have I fished, and see, caught nothing for our supper. Woe is me." The Sultan lighted from his horse. "Behold," said he, "good fortune will not be controlled, and since today yours seems to turn from you, suppose we try for once what mine will do, and we will share alike in all I win." So the Shah took and flung his fortune in the net, which cast by the great Mahmud's hand 100 glittering fishes brought to land. The lad looked up in wonder. Mahmud smiled and vaulted into saddle, but the child ran after. "Nay, Amir, but half the haul is yours by bargain. Nay, today take all." The Sultan cried and shook his bridle free, "But mine tomorrow all belongs to me," and so rode off. Next morning at Divan, the Sultan's mind upon his bargain ran, and being somewhat in a mind for sport, sent for the lad who carried up the court, and marching unto royalty full blaze, with such a catch of fish as yesterday's, the Sultan called and set him by his side, and asking him what luck, the boy replied, "'Tis is the luck that follows every cast, since o'er my net the Sultan's shadow passed." And the path, the message, whether truth or good, it may not be the easiest, hence jihad. it may not be the, what pleases us at first. What we like and dislike isn't, the complete measure. Hence, jihad. In its actual sense, of course, not the English sense.